Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphanlast, and today we're going to be talking about some really basic stuff about geometry. And the way that we're going to be doing this is by first me showing you some really basic stuff about geometry itself, and then showing you how to use these techniques that exist inside of geometry in order to make things spaced out properly. It's a way of kind of sort of measuring things out without having to pull out a measuring tape, without having to use a ruler and measure something, without needing any numbers whatsoever. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing. So let me go ahead and create a new layer. One second here. Let me see what I'm working with here. And let's see. Okay, so we have this lamp. Let's say we want to set a lamp right next to it, okay? Let's go ahead and do that, okay? But first of all, if we were to be drawing this lamp, we would first have to make sure that we get it in the right position. We don't want it to be any higher or any lower. We also want it to be the same height in general. So let's go ahead and just draw two straight lines, okay? So one line right there, and one line right there, okay? There we have it, okay? And actually, let's space this line out a little bit further. Let's go ahead and just keep this line going a little bit, okay? All right, so we have that. Now, let's say, okay, so let's go ahead and place this other lamp post, okay? So, okay, so basically I just copied and pasted it. Okay, so we got these two lamp posts. They're the same. They're on the same level, and they're the same height, right? And this is represented by two parallel lines. Two lines that are going the same direction, and forever, and they will never actually touch each other. That is what parallel lines are, basically. Okay. So let's say I want a specific one of these right smack dab in the middle. Okay, I can go ahead and paste in another one and press Control Z. Let's see, one second here. I'm having problems. Okay, so I think right there is about in the middle. Okay, just eyeballing it. But I don't really know for sure, so what do I do? Okay, so I'm making sure I'm on my measuring layer. And I'm going to go ahead and select this line tool right here. And I'm going to go ahead and go from the top of this to the bottom of the furthest one right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Top to bottom. And actually this is the center right there. Okay? So all I need to do is select this layer right here, press Control T, and move it into place. And it's in the right place. All right. So now that I've got these spaced out properly, let's say I want to have one or two more of these right here. How do I find out that measurement? Well, okay, so basically we go ahead and we make sure we have our measuring layer selected. We use our line tool once again, and we use the exact same technique. We make an X right through here, and then what we do is we make a line that is parallel with this line up top and this line on the bottom. And what we do is we just go ahead and bring that line right through there. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and extend these two lines further. Okay, so now I know basically the midpoint out here, but what do I do now? Well, what we do is we go to, instead of like this one, we go to the one before the end, okay? And we go ahead and we draw a line right through this middle point that we've created here, and we just go to the edge of our square, basically, that we've created, and, or, well, sort of square, basically the distance from here to here. We go right through this object here, and here. And so basically we kind of have a square is basically what I was talking about. Like this square basically right here. Okay? Let me get rid of those. And so this right here winds up being where the next post needs to be. And I could actually do this without having to draw an X. I can go ahead and go like that. And I know that this is where the next post needs to be. Okay? And so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so that was easy, right? So we have all of this right here. And each one of these is evenly spaced. They're spaced out perfectly even with one another. Right? That look about right? I think so. That looks pretty damn good if you ask me. So, let me go ahead and show you something, okay? So, let me pull out my brush. Okay, so this line right here and this line right here, these two parallel lines are this line right here and this line right here. They are exactly the same, only that the objects get smaller and smaller as they go towards the distance and into what we call the vanishing point. And that is the vanishing point right there. Okay? And so that is essentially what we're looking at. And so we need to make another one of these posts, and we need to put it someplace, okay? All right, so I've gone ahead and placed another one, right? Okay, so let's say I want to make one in the center here, okay? So all I do is select my line tool, and I do the exact same thing that I did down here. I created this X right here. Okay, now I can eyeball it, but the thing is every time I've seen, even a professional artist just eyeball it, 99% of the time they get it wrong. For example, all right, so that sure does look like the middle to me, but let's go ahead and double check, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and put it there. Okay, looks like this is the center right here. That right there. So eyeballing it does not work. Okay, so we need to actually grab this layer, Control T, oops, wrong layer, and go ahead and just, ooh, 1 second. All right, I'm just moving it into place, and let's see here, just shrink it down a little bit. All right. That looks good to me. Oops, actually it needs to be a little bit taller. Alright. Alright, so that's the midpoint right there. Alright, so let's say we need to find out what the midpoint is once again. Well, okay, now that we've gone ahead and figured that out, okay? Just like this one, we found out we've got these three evenly spaced down here. Okay, so we've got these three evenly spaced up here. Now, let's say I want to have another one spaced out here and another one spaced out here properly. Well, how do we figure that out? Well, it's really easy, really. Now, what we can do is we can go ahead and pull out our line tool, make sure we're on our measuring layer. And let's see here. We can go ahead and just draw an X right through here. Okay? And then draw a line that's parallel to the top and bottom here. Okay, so this is parallel, like this line was parallel to the top and bottom. Okay, and then what we did is we went from the top of this one and then went through the second one, right through this line that we just created down the middle, and we went like that. Okay, and so that's where it needs to go. Right? And now that we've done this, just like with the last one, I don't need to draw another X. I already got this one in the middle. I can go ahead and go from the one previous to the last one, bring it right through the middle and right through the last object, and then I have the position for the last one. Alright, so that pretty much concludes it for this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.